Good morning, everybody. So I hesitated to come on here this morning because I'm looking a bit rough. But anyway, so I'm waiting. I'm at Chick-fil-A now, waiting in the parking lot. I'm getting ready to go and have my tires checked. But I wanted to pop on here and talk to you guys this morning. This is really for women, but it can be for men too, because we just need to get ready for what we ask for. So I've kind of done a video about, being prepared for what you ask for, but you really don't know until you're like placed in physically in the situation. So I just want to talk about that. So I haven't started like dating yet since I've been here, but I have been looking around and making observations, which I'm very good at doing. And so for the event that I went to and actually going out, I have been noticing the difference in the caliber of men here. So okay, I'm gonna quit apologizing for comparing Knoxville and Texas, because they're two different places, but there is a big difference. So and I do realize that we're in a bigger city, so I got it. The caliber of men here is, yeah. So I know for me, when I ask, when I talk to God about dating and being married again, because I do want to be married again, I want a certain caliber of man. So outside of physicalities, I want somebody smart who has really, really good conversation, who has a very good presence when they come into the room, like they command, like the energy is really good, it's really high. I want somebody smarter than me, somebody that I can learn from. I like to be the submissive person in the relationship, and I want to be able to learn from my man. I want him to be able to lead our household, because I believe that's how God said it to be. And just to have his own everything, of course, like the basics. Learn how to love me, nurture me, all of that good stuff. I have a list. And so what I didn't really realize is, because I haven't necessarily seen it often physically or come up close and personal with it physically, I was not prepared for when I started seeing men that have the attributes of the things that I am wanting in a relationship, in a marriage. And so I was scared. So I know a lot of people, like I'm very vulnerable when it comes to my friends. Most of the time with you guys, if I have a problem, like I'm going to come on here and talk to you guys about it, because when I have a problem, sometimes other people have a problem, and if you haven't necessarily run into that problem, you may. So I want to talk about my stuff so I can help you with yours, right? And so when people look at me a lot of time, because I have a business and I do these videos and I've had these events, they think I am super duper secure in every area of my life, and that I'm extroverted and I don't have problems talking to people, but I do. I do. Good morning, everybody. But I do, and I'm not going to say I do, I'm working on it. So I'm extremely shy when it comes to meeting people. This can be men, this could be people I don't know. I'm not the one who goes and initiates the conversations. I don't do that. And so I want to talk about what my friend did to me yesterday, which I posted a little bit of what they did. So all of us did not stay. Let me back up. So we had a girls trip this weekend, and my girls came to Houston, and well, that's irrelevant. So they came to Houston. Most we were supposed to leave on Sunday, but some of us stayed through Sunday, and they're leaving tomorrow or today. And so we went to brunch, and my homegirl Kendra, she's the extroverted one, so she's going to talk to anybody about anything. She does not mind asking, but I love that about her. And she always says, when you ask, you shall receive, and I'm in agreement with that, because I've seen her ask so many times and she gets it. So I need that in my life, because I'm not that person. Good morning, everybody. And so her and my other friends, like they conjured up, like they saw this guy that they know I'm attracted to, like my type. So my type is like the football player, tall, I don't like muscular guys, so like tall, a good size, not fat, but just he gotta be big, big, not fat big, but big, good size, something bigger than me. and not too pretty, but that in between, a little bit like handsome but not too like pretty. I don't like pretty boys. So anyway, and he had glasses on, so they were like, Reagan, look over at the guy or whatever. So they were like, you like him? And I looked and I was like, oh yeah. Like he was like, yeah, dressed perfect size, like very handsome. And I'm into lips too. I love lips. This is a side note, I love lips. And so he had very nice lips. I'm like, yeah, he's nice. So they were like, you need to say something to him. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. So anyway, I saw that they were conjuring up something. Like I knew they were conjuring something up. And so they were whispering, and I'm just looking. And so my friend Kendra was like, you better be ready. And I was like, ready for what? So I knew, I didn't know what was going on, but I knew that he was going to be coming over to the table. And so my friend Kyra was like, fix your lipstick. And I'm like, dude, like, she's like, you want to go to the bathroom? I'm like, no. So at this point, I'm like in a panic because I get so super nervous. I really, really do. And so they were like, you better get yourself together. So I'm just kind of looking at him from my peripheral because he was like higher up. We were like on a level lower, but I could still see him out of my peripheral. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, like he's getting ready to come over here. So I see him come over to the table. And I'm looking at him and I'm looking up at him. So I'm already like, yes, just super intrigued. And so he starts carrying on a conversation. So let me tell you about the conversation. It was brief, but what I could tell from the conversation is he knew how to work the room. He shook my hand, and we'll get back to that part of it. And he was not seemingly nervous. You could tell he spoke very, very well. So you could tell that he's in some kind of business or something. Like I could just tell, I could pick that up. And so my friend Kendra was like asking him these probing questions because she's a question asker. You know, what do you do? And he was like, you know, I really don't go out. You know, I'm kind of like, I stay at home. So my friend Chris was like, yeah, because I don't really go out either. And so he was just kind of talking about the goings on in the city. And, you know, so he said, going back to the front part of the story, he said, so somebody bought me a drink. I just wanted to come over and say thank you. And I was like, these heifers done bought this man a drink and told him that I sent the drink over, which I did not. But what do you say? Like, I don't want to be like, excuse me, I didn't buy the drink. And so he was like talking to everybody. And so anyway, he said, so we're going, everybody from Tennessee, we were just making conversation. And then he said, well, I'll text you where to go. And so he said, you know, give me your number. And so he texted me the places to go or whatever. And so I didn't get his name because I couldn't hear, like the music was loud. And so I said, yeah, what was his name? Because I don't remember his name. And they said, I don't know, like, because you couldn't hear. And so they were like, text him and ask him. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to text him. But anyway, I ended up texting him, and he texted me his name back. And so now I'm at the crossroad of saying, do I call him? Do I text him or whatever? Or do I just leave the ball in his court? Because if he wasn't interested, like, he wouldn't have got my number. So, okay, we've already gotten to that part. But my friend Kendra was like, well, the way you were looking, I thought you were mad. So she said, I almost said, you know, I did it or whatever. But she said, well, once we exchanged numbers, she thought, you know, knew it was okay. So fast forward off of that, I said all that to say, you know, I know what I asked God for. I know the man that I want. I know the man that I deserve. However, I don't think when I asked God for it, I was prepared to actually see it. So in Knoxville, I'm not used to meeting black men who like own several businesses, that make like real money, who worship God, like, and they look like something, and they you know, have very good jobs and occupations and work for, you know, Fortune 500 companies. I'm not used to seeing that in the flesh. Like, I know probably one person, like, up close and personal, but somebody for me to date. And so it almost Like, it I'm gonna be honest, it kind of messes with myself. It messes with my self-esteem, because it's just like, you know, for me, I've always been looked at like I'm up here. But when you see somebody that's like up here, it is intimidating. So it's almost like, well, what do I bring to the table that he's going to like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm attractive or whatever, but it's like, what do you bring to the table? But then, you know, I do have male friends who say, you know, men don't really look at that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just really having to get myself together to be ready and prepared for what I asked God for. And so I said, I want a man that's smart. I want a man who works the room. And it may not be this guy, so I'm not like saying we're in love and all this stuff. I'm not saying that. The moral of the story is, are you ready for what you ask him for? Are you ready? Because he's going to do it. And we're in the season where God is granting us these things that we ask for. But when we ask, are we ready? Like, y'all, and it's crazy because I keep throwing out, I'm going to be married this time next year. My man is going to be X, Y, and Z. But when I'm seeing it, I'm like, whoa, Jesus, wait a minute. It's a lot of men out here who doing it. And the thing that I'm noticing about the men here, they lead with money. They lead with what they have. Like, they just lead with that. And so to see somebody who, I don't know, listen, I just want to kill the misnomer that there are no good men out here that don't have things and are willing to do things for you. That is not true. It is, who are you, what you are attracting, and willing to receive, and who are you around. You know what I'm saying? You will never hear me say there are no good men out there. I've seen it, like, in the flesh. And not saying because they have businesses and they have these things that they are good men, but very well-spoken men who are respectful. Like I said, even in church yesterday, I was watching, like, men, like black men worshiping God. Like, that is such a turn on to me. That is a turn on to me, but it's something that you don't see. Well, I haven't seen it. And so for me, I just wanted to pop on here and say that I'm putting myself in position mentally, spiritually, and physically to be able to handle what I ask God for. And so that means getting out of my comfort zone. And I just did a video about getting out of your comfort zone. Nothing good is going to come, or the things that you want or ask God for are going to come from your comfort zone. So I have to, as Kendra says, you need to flirt more, Reagan, at least. So we're practicing at the table last night how to flirt, how to give eye contact. I can't be so shy. I have to go for what I want. And so I'm in a city now that I can't just fade to the background. Like, in every aspect of my life, I'm being pushed out front. And it is very uncomfortable. It is very uncomfortable. So I just wanted to be transparent with you guys this morning to talk about that. And just hope that sheds a little light on, you know, the things that you ask for. Be prepared to get them. Because when I say that I'm going to be married this time next year, when I say that I'm going to have a man who's smarter than I am, and I'm going to be able to learn, and he's going to lead, and he's going to be everything that I want and I need, I see that here. I see a lot of that here. I see opportunity here. And so I just wanted to be transparent with you this morning to just say, get in position to be prepared what you ask God for, because what you ask Him for, you got to be ready for it. And so I'm learning, so we can learn together. You guys have a blessed day. This is Reagan Adams with All Things Reagan, and Reagan says, I think it, I see it, I do it. Bye.